Hello, 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 everyone. Um, our tripod has become a 1.5 legs of a stool that's on its side, but we're here. We made it. Um, Mike from New York. How you doing, Mike? You're not feeling
Well,
well, right?
I'm doing spectacular. I'm sick as a dog. New York single digit weather, and I'm loving life right now. But the best thing about today is being on, and as you can tell, Ricardo's not here. Ricardo will not be joining us today, so there's no muting. There's no putting me in TV timeout corner where I can't talk. So I just want everybody that's a loyal supporter. Just remember, even though if I'm dying and I went to the hospital, I'm still going to be here. Where Ricardo just MIA. So appreciate it, everybody.
Yeah, yeah. It's also single digits weather here in Indianapolis. I am still not 100% from last week. I was sick as a dog last week. Um, it's going around, so stay warm and make sure you drink lots of vitamin C and zinc, magnesium.
Absolutely.
Just headwear, headgear. You lose
Cold.
like I think you lose 60% of your body heat through your head and your
Yep.
armpits. So
Yeah, I believe it's. I think is it your armpits? I always thought it was your head.
well, so the three places are your groin, your armpits, and your head. I think just your head and your armpits is like 60% of your body heat. So
Damn.
yeah, it's a lot.
Damn. Didn't
Yeah.
know that. Jeez. Did they teach that in the military, or did you read that, or did you watch a Instagram video and they told you that?
I did Sea West training, cold weather training in Maine in February.
Oh wow.
So there's 6 feet of snow on the ground. Um, I had to hike around with 6 feet of snow with snowshoes and yeah, the whole thing. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We did
Shut up. That ain't fun. Shut up. That ain't fun. Don't say that's fun. That's not
we
fun at all.
we did a lot of uh, training on like survival in the cold weather and snaring rabbits. We had to kill a rabbit, make stew.
What
Um,
was this for?
it's called Sear School, Survive,
Oh,
Evade,
it
Resist,
is for the
Escape.
military.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we
Oh, I
went out
thought you
to
were just doing this on your
no
alone
one
time, like your free
one
time
day.
for fun.
No, one day we got captured. We were POWs for 36 hours. Got tortured. It was a lot of fun. I could tell you
Oh,
all
what did
about it
they
if you
do?
really.
I wanna know how they tortured you.
Oh man. So I was 19, right? So I basically immediately went straight back into like boot camp mode. Um, because like they're slapping you. It can't hit you with a closed fist. Slap
Hmm.
you all they want. So you get slapped in the face by a lot of right-handed people. So I was by the end, I was like, just somebody left-handed slap me, please, for the love of
Yeah,
God. Like I'm so
the right
tired of
side of my
getting,
face hurts.
yeah, it's
Or
the
the
same
left
side
side
of
of my
my
face hurts.
face.
Yeah.
So we get dragged outside. It's like negative 60 degrees outside, and we put the bag over the head. We get dragged into this side room, and there's this big red light bulb in the corner, and we're standing there, and they take the hood off, and no shit, there's a midget standing on a box with this big fuck off black beard, like down to his balls, with a bullwhip, and he cracks this whip, and they all talk with Russian accents. So he's like, "Get down on our knees, pig dogs," and so
You sure
then
this
they
is
make
one
us.
not one of your weekends that you go
This
out
is
right
not
now?
a this is not a bad dream,
You-
right? This is like a
yeah.
legitimate thing that happened. So then they make us get inside this box, and like I had to cross my legs to fit inside this box, and I didn't fit, right? So then I don't know how long I was in there, but long enough for both my legs to go numb. So like I couldn't feel my legs from my knees down. And they're yelling and hitting the box and saying all this stuff, and then they make you get out, and I couldn't stand up. Like I fell down, and I had no feeling in my feet, and they're like, "Stand up, pig dog," and I'm like, I fucking can't feel my legs, like,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they're like, "Well, just crawl over and bang on the door and yell, Mr. Provost, let me in." And I'm like, I don't. Nothing about that sounds like something I want to do.
Oh,
shit.
look who it is. Look
What
at
up,
who it is.
bitches?
Look at who it is.
Hold on,
So
we
I'm
gotta change the format.
I'm telling a story, Ricardo. So yeah, the guys he yells, say, Mr. Provost, let me in. So I bang on the door and open the door. This cloud of cigar smoke pours out. There's this bright light, and this dude, massive dude with a big beard, just grabs me by my collar and like hauls me into the room. Proceeds me to slap me around a little bit. Makes me do all this stuff. I felt like I sold secrets to the government by the time I was finished. Um,
Well, that's what Ricardo's doing right now. He's selling secrets of the government to.
That's
Ricardo,
right,
how
man.
is it playing with another man's wood out there?
Playing with other man's what?
Wood.
It's pretty cool, man. It's cold as fuck in this goddamn convention center, though. I'll tell you that. But I'm here with the gang. Got Smitty right here from Scorpion
Hey,
Drumsticks.
hey, hey!
Yeah, we got the boys coming by
What's
the
up? What's
booth.
up? What's up?
Don't do drugs, kids.
So, you guys done sticking drumstick up Slimer's ass all weekend?
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I did not know
supposedly-
that was there.
Yeah, supposedly that's how they get their drumsticks green with the grip.
That's not my
to
marketing.
stick it up
thing.
Slimer's ass. So,
Well, he's clearly, doing a phenomenal job at this place because he's drinking a Modelo, so he's
Oh,
having
man,
a blast.
I've had like 4 edibles today. It's been pretty fun. But yeah, so like check out, we're in the drum section. You can see like all these crazy sort of drum shit, and it's pretty big, dude. I went over to the DJ section earlier. They have all the new DJ equipment. Threw a set down. It was pretty fun. Got to play with all the toys.
surprised you didn't get arrested. So
Yeah, I was
that's
just
good.
say, are you allowed to be in the presence of little kids? I thought you had to be 50 to 100 yards away from a school and children.
I have an easement.
Oh, you have an easement. Oh, okay.
Did you one of the many people that got pardoned by Biden?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You don't know is that Biden pardoned my ass. You have no clue from anything preemptively. So like any crime that I commit in the future, I'm good.
Right.
But
Regarding
yeah,
children,
man, I
of
mean,
course.
it's a nice day here in LA. It's pretty crowded. We're having a pretty good show. We're closing up right now. It's closing down. But yeah, man, it's pretty fun.
Well, thank you for jumping on. We really appreciate it for the all 1.5 minutes that you jumped on. It's good to see you. Enjoy the convention center. Stop giving the middle finger. You can't put me in a timeout corner. So it's
Oh man.
Want a bet? Want a bet? Oh, I got the mobile phone, baby. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I'm going to
He's gonna
stab
be
you when I
pissed.
see you
He's
next
gonna
time.
be-
All right,
Like
guys.
a
Have
move.
a good show, man. We'll talk to you guys later. All right.
All
All
right.
right, buddy. Be safe.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know how to turn it off. There it goes. What
Yeah.
was I going to say to him?
No,
So
so
what
yeah,
were
it
you
was 36 hours of torture essentially. So it was fun.
So let me ask you a question. Was it designed to break you, like as an individual? What was it? What was the purpose of it?
It's designed to give you a glimpse of what it would be like to become a POW. Because like
Gotcha.
we're air crew, so like we crash in a foreign country or whatever, and we get captured. Then it's
Gotcha.
like that teach us some like techniques for interrogation, so that you don't give up information, but like you still try to, seem like you're still playing ball.
I
So,
gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like
Um,
fun. I never done
was-
that. My most interrogation has happened by
The police.
other attorneys, the police. My dad is great at interrogation. My dad.
Oh,
is
yeah?
great.
He's grilling the shit out of you?
Yeah, he comes from a military family, so like
Mm.
he would turn around and like he's very like regimented and like anytime you would go out, you have to be on your you have to dot your I's and cross your T's because if you messed up a part of your story, he'd be like, "Nah, that doesn't make sense." He's like, "That doesn't make sense." and then he'd ask you a billion different ways. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
my stepdad was big on manners, so it was always if I didn't say, may I, like, like, hey, can you pass me the mashed potatoes, whatever, he would just look at you and be like, sorry for not saying, please,
mhm.
may I have the
Oh, I
mashed
got smacked.
potatoes? Yeah.
My mom loved that wooden spoon. Like, and then my mom was really good at using the father threat. Oh, I'm gonna tell your father when he comes home. I'll never forget. I told the first time I told my mom like shut up. Like I don't remember how old it was. I want to say I was like maybe 8 or 9. Or I was with a friend. He told his father to shut up. So I thought I was gonna go home, and my mom was like, "Eat your food," and I was like, "No, shut up." And I got hit with a wooden spoon like 10 times. No joke. But yeah, my parents and my family were always big on like respect and things of that magnitude. Like so, if it got to a point where it was like if I wasn't respectful, I didn't hold doors open, I didn't say thank you, stuff like that, or excuse me, they would punish me, and it was different ways. They would take my PlayStation away. They would do all different things.
Yeah, I had to read Robinson Crusoe one weekend, and my dad would not let me like leave and do anything until I finished reading the book.
Hmm.
And like I tried the first day, tried just reading through the whole thing, and then he was like, "All right, what happened?" And I was like, "Fuck." Uh, so then I actually had to sit down like on Saturday and Sunday and read through the whole thing, and um, I didn't get to go outside the whole time. I know.
Yeah, yeah, good times when we were younger. You know, good time. Um, Yeah, so let's get into one of the topics that we were going to discuss today. Chris and I were talking about this. Ricardo's not around, so he was not involved in this at all. He's in Anaheim right now. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's at a convention, but what you just saw, he's drinking, he's taking edibles, so it doesn't really like he's selling or doing anything there. It just sounds like it's one big party, to say the least. But long story short, though, is so we were talking about the Biden pardons and what's going on with that. It is disturbing, in my opinion, on all the pardons that he gave out or granted. It's just absolutely astonishing. Everybody ridiculed Trump during his first election and said that uh, if he does this, this isn't presidential. What is he trying to hide? Why would he do this? He's hiding something. He's trying to protect his kids. And Trump never did anything of that nature. And now all of a sudden, Biden did everything that everybody criticized Trump for. And it goes one step further. Some of the pardons that he, signed were for people, and I can't even fathom it. Like, I'll give you two examples. There's two judges, I believe it was in Pennsylvania. They were involved in a scheme where they were sentencing kids to detention centers and getting kickbacks from the companies that ran the detention centers to the point where they got, I believe it was the total amount was $2.8 million. Now, some of those kids in the detention centers, they ended up killing themselves. Why, in any right, would Biden pardon the two judges that were the culprits in that scheme? It makes no sense. They were sentenced, I believe, to jail for 17 or 20 years. I can't remember the exact amount. But what's the purpose? What's the purpose? And the interesting thing is, Governor Shapiro from the state of Pennsylvania turned around and said, and he was a little frustrated with it because he turned around and he was like, I don't understand this one. And anybody from the outside looking in doesn't understand it. He pardoned other people that had were involved in sex trafficking. He pardoned people that were in the governmental level, which you can understand why he does. You might not agree with it, but you can understand it. He pardoned people in his family. He pardoned Fauci. He pardoned January 6th committee. Like, some of these are mind blowing to me
Yeah, but it's not
personally.
just the committee. It was like staffers involved in the committee. Like it
Yeah,
was like
it's
anybody that testified, any police officer that testified in the January 6th committee. It just seems like a lot of it is more of a, like I said, it's preventative of them having to like testify in public,
mhm.
potentially getting subpoenaed or whatever, than it is that he cares whether or not they get, arrested or something, right?
So let me ask you this question, Chris. So he pardoned these two judges in Pennsylvania, right? They were involved in some heinous things, horrific things. Now, did he pardon these judges because of political pressure from people within his party that said, "Hey, you know what? We got to take care of them"? Did he pardon them because of his donors? That if it was these detention centers, jails, did they give Biden money and said, "Hey, since we're giving you money, we want these two judges to be pardoned for certain things"? Who advised him to do this? Like, this is my problem with some of these presidential pardons, is because of the fact that you don't know the reasons behind it, and they don't have to tell you the reasons. You can only
Right.
guess and put hypotheticals out there, like what we're doing right now. So I'm just frustrated with the outside of some of the other pardons I have an issue with. The two judges mostly I have a massive issue with, because these are adolescents. These were kids. They went to detention centers as kids. Okay? Yeah, okay, they might have done something that was wrong, but the judges take an oath as a judge. You're a lawyer. You go to law school. You take an oath to live an ethical life. Now, lawyers are not always. I'm not going to say that every one of them is is moral. You're going to get You're going to get lawyers that are not moral, and there's a multitude of them that get in trouble. And the legal profession also has a real issue with substance abuse, and this has been going on for years.
Wait,
But
doing drugs?
drinking is a
Oh.
heavy problem. But as a judge, where you hold somebody's life in your hands, okay, you control the trajectory of their life. Okay, you control if they go to jail. You control if it's a slap on the wrist. You can ruin that person's life. Okay, and you got to be very careful with that. In this case, these judges violated every oath that they had. And they violated not just that, but the humanity element of being a person, because of the simple thing called money. And that was my biggest problem with this. There were many kids that killed themselves. And I saw a video not too long ago, one of the judges getting out of jail, and one of the mothers of the kids that committed suicide literally turned around, was yelling and screaming at him, and he was basically like brushing it off. And I was sitting there, I was like, if you want to talk about evil in this world, that's
Yeah.
what you're looking at. That right there is evil. And I'm sorry, I can't for the life of me think why he would do that. And I'm pissed off that he did that, because these are people that really are shameful people. And they
Right.
don't have any moral code, ethical code for anything in life. So,
Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out like where they lost their way, like what happened. Um,
mhm.
yeah, there's a ton of, you know, a ton of these pardons. I feel like it's almost like a lot of them are. He's like hiding, like his kid, right? I mean, like there's just all these
Yeah.
other pardons, and then all of it's like, just don't look so closely at the list. You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of people on here that it just feels like it's kind of getting washed. A lot of it, like the Mark Milley thing, right? The General Milley, like that to me is like you're doing that just so we pay attention to that and we don't pay attention to like some of the other ones because so Trump doesn't like the guy. Why do you pardon him? And, unless there's something that we're missing, like is there some
Mhm.
detail that we don't understand? It's ridiculous. And these preemptive pardons. What really bothered me about preemptive pardons is when I looked it up in history. Like a lot of the preemptive pardons in history make 100% sense. Like
Mhm.
examples are George Washington pardoned some of the participants of the Whiskey Rebellion, preemptively pardoned them, right?
Mhm.
Lincoln preemptively pardoned Civil War deserters from the Confederate Army. Andrew Johnson also issued preemptive pardons for some Confederate soldiers. Gerald Ford pardoned Nixon. You know, like I understand. Like those to me make sense. Like those to
Mhm.
me, there's some for the Vietnam War that were pardoned. Like some of the people that deserted during the Vietnam War. Like those make sense, right? But the January 6th committee doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
Like why? All we want to know is what the fuck happened.
Well, yeah, and it's also the method. So you pardon them, so there's no hearings. You pardon them, so there's no testimony. There's nothing to go after them for, even staffers. There's reasons behind it. The pardons that I have issues with, like for example with Fauci, I have a real fundamental problem. There is testimony of him contradicting himself
Oh,
when he's
so many
talking
times.
in the House. So it's funny. I was reading something about this. So if they call him back to a House committee to testify, and he testifies against what he said previously, he doesn't qualify for that pardon because it's perjury. Because now he's lying in the present, not in the past. So there's two elements to it. So I was reading about that, but my problem is we're pardoning people, and I think this is more of a fundamental issue of recent years because there's so much more money that's going into the political realm. We're pardoning people based on favors. I feel like now, and they feel like when you're throwing money in there and you're like, okay, I gave you $1 million, I gave you $2 million, I donated for my group 5 million, I gave you a pack. There's like a little bit of allegiance there, and you're like asking for your favor. And that's the problem with government in a lot of areas now. It's because, okay, I'm doing this for you now. I'm expecting something in return later. And that's the double edged sword of, kind of the political realm. And that's what we're dealing with right now. I, for the life of me, am very frustrated that he waited until the last day to
Yeah, I mean,
pardon his family members. Trump didn't even know about it. He did it intentionally to block it out before the inauguration, which I thought it was hilarious. I was like, this was a manipulative tool. And now, did Biden do it himself? Because I don't even know Biden knows where he is. Or did somebody in his administration do it to destroy his reputation and say, well, this was all Biden. Look what Biden's doing now. So
I think it's
it's
like
just
just
all
the
these games.
Hunter. It's Hunter. It's all just in order to prevent Hunter from being able to testify publicly. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
it.
even. Yeah, Hunter is on a whole nother level. We won't even go into that one. But
All
um,
right, let's go to you wanted to talk about the executive orders.
oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this. I think it's fascinating that he signed so many executive orders, and some of the executive orders I want to highlight. So okay, so first the executive order closing the border. I think that was very important. I think him that will stop the migrant situation. But the bigger thing is he basically terminated the CB. I think it was what was it, the CBP or the BCP app, where people can make appointments on the
Oh
app,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which expedited the immigration process. So it was like a workaround, play with the numbers. I love the fact that he signed an executive order to stop that. I think it's very important because now you got to get the country under control, and you can't get the country under control if you can't control your borders. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I started watching, like, there's videos all over the internet about the ICE going after all these criminals, illegal immigrants, and they're the ones that have committed crimes. They've rounded it up. I think it's like 475 of them so far. I thought it was phenomenal. I think you need to start enforcing your laws. I think you need to go after the bad actors. I think you need to go and get people that are here in this country that have committed serious crimes or committed crimes just in general, or were indicted in their own country for serious crimes. So
Yeah. No, I was just say fundamentally. I mean, I think that we have to. He's just trying to prove, or at least give people the impression that this is a safe place to live, right? And
yeah,
and that's the easiest way to start is just by starting. Like we talked about this several episodes ago. You don't start a jigsaw puzzle from the middle. You start from the edges, and
hmm
we have a serious border problem. And if we have known illegal immigrants that are known felons, both inside our country and outside our country, like just start there. I mean, it's an easy win just to get rid of them.
hmm
They're not contributing members. They're probably, deterring people from leaving their homes and spending money and doing the things, raising children, all this stuff. It's I don't know. I'm glad about it.
yeah. So I understand individuals that want to come to this country because the United States, I will say this to the end of time, is the greatest country out there. Do we have our flaws? Yeah, we have our flaws. But why does everybody want to come here? It's because we offer something. We offer opportunity. I have no problem if you came or you come to this country and you do it the right way and you get your
Oh
citizenship
yeah,
and you are a
100%.
contributing member of the society. I have a problem with all the people that think they just can get around it. You have enough people in this country that are starving and having problems, and adding all that extra burden is a huge problem. So, going back to something else though, I love his executive order on making the government return to the office 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I think that's phenomenal. They it's we've already talked about this in a previous episode where it was the work from home. Now, the we all know the governmental employees are not the hardest working employees out there. Okay, there is a lot of studies and a lot of people. If you ever dealt with a governmental institution, you know it is a challenge to deal with them.
Yeah,
So
red tape for days.
yeah, so it's an issue there. So put them at home and not in the office where there's oversight. Imagine how that works. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, how are they helping people? I mean, that's their entire purpose, right? Is to help, citizens. How are you helping citizens from home? It doesn't really make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And
So,
we're spending all this money on the real estate. Do you see that other one that they're
oh,
trying to sell all that real estate off because we're not utilizing it? I mean,
hmm
God, that's so much money that we're just
well,
wasting by powering these buildings that nobody's in.
yeah. So he terminated all the work from home programs. He told the directors or the heads of all the departments where there's a work from home policy. I want to know in 30 days who's not back in the office and the reasons why they're not back in the office. And he said he's going to put them on an administrative leave or potentially fire them. That's the right move. You got to stop with the fucking sucking on the tit. You need to start doing your job. You need to get back to the office. COVID is over. I mean, when we had all these work from home policies where COVID, you couldn't go in because there was this fear. We have, we know what COVID is now. We know how to deal with COVID. We have solutions, medical solutions to help with COVID. Okay, we have all these avenues that we know what we can do with it. These work from home programs, is it accessible? Does it help people certain ways? Is it good to work from home for a couple of days? I will agree with that. But 5 days a week where you never go into the office and you work from home, I disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading a lot about the quiet quitting thing, the Great Depression, or the Great Resignation, and this remote work thing, and I feel like the justification for the attitude is I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, inflation's insane, gas prices are insane, eggs are
Hmm.
out of control. I mean, like, why wouldn't you want more of a home life balance if no matter what you do, you can't get ahead, right? I mean,
Correct.
and so, but with all the changes that Trump's trying to make, lowering inflation and bringing in tariffs, which will also offset some of that cost a little bit. I mean, I feel like that coupled with bringing everybody back into work, streamlining the government, closing a lot of these buildings down that we
Hmm.
don't need, reducing the overhead for just the footprint, government's footprint. I mean, I'm hoping that it does. I'm hoping that it works. Honestly,
So there's two folds to that answer, right? One, I'm going to say is these are governmental employees. They're not private employees. They're working for the government. You need the resources and access on the governmental grounds to do your job.
right?
You working from home and having no oversight and not being in the building that you're supposed to be in the building with the department leads, okay? Completely different. Okay? And the second fold is Trump might be doing this for another reason. And it has to go back to Doge is it's the same thing that Facebook did. We want you to return to the office 5 days. It's a mechanism for layoffs. If you don't return, guess what? We fire you. We lower our head count. We lower our costs. We lower our expenses. We can get rid of a lot of people that way. It's the same reason why he signed an executive order to get rid of all the DEI programs.
Yeah, but the question is, I mean, so playing devil's advocate. Let's say you lay off a bunch of people that don't want to go back to the office. I mean, that spikes your unemployment, and I totally understand that the left's kind of policies have always been providing regular jobs, especially governmental jobs, by like increasing the IRS footprint under
Mm-hmm.
Biden. But like, what's the alternative? You know what I mean? Like, these people are out now out of work. I mean, I get it. Maybe they weren't
Yeah.
really working hard or whatever. I'm not arguing that. But then now they're unemployed. So then what's the options? Like, what sort of does he have a plan to like get these people jobs?
Well, that's where the economy comes in. That's where you get the economy to a point where private employers, hire more people.
Right.
So the biggest issue with the governmental jobs is, and everybody's been saying this for a year, the government is too big. There's too many
100%. Yeah,
jobs.
yeah.
There's too many jobs for similar tasks with different titles. There's too many departments in those organizations and those governmental wings. That's the problem. Like you go to a DMV, you have 47 people that are sitting around that are not doing anything. They're just walking around.
And you can't get
Okay,
anything done. Yeah.
you can't get anything done. So and also one of the other thing that works in his favor is technology. The one problem with the government I'm not talking about military technology. I'm not talking about, Department of Homeland technology. I'm not talking about certain technology. I'm talking about the way to do your governmental work. Technology
Right.
in that way, they are so many years behind. Like I'll give you a
Oh
perfect
yeah.
example. So for me, going to court, I still have to go into court for certain court conferences. It makes no sense. We during COVID, we literally did everything over Zoom. I would talk to the other attorney. We'd fill out a conference order, what was missing exactly. We would upload it to the court website. Why do I have to come in front of a judge now to tell him the same exact things that I would write by an order? It makes no sense. It just clogs up the systems. So it worked during COVID. I don't understand why we went back to the old ways. So there's a multitude of things. But continuing with the executive orders, and which one that I love the most, he signed today the executive order to release all the documents and files for RFK, JFK, and MLK's assassination. I'm curious to see what comes out and how much they actually release, though. So I want to know what happens on that. I want to see if our government really involved, who did it, what they said.
Be interesting. Be interesting to see. Did you see the what was it Steak and Shake changing their so you was talking about RFK. Steak and Shake is changing their fryers to beef tallow.
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, yeah. So they're the first company that's removing vegetable oil from their cooking and
Oh, beautiful.
going back to beef tallow.
Yeah,
So
because vegetable oil is supposed to be really healthy for you.
vegetable oil is awful for you. My favorite example of this was my little brother used to pave, do concrete paving for like parking lots and stuff. And he went to KFC and like he has tar on his hands, right? And this tar is like impossible to get off. It doesn't come
Uh huh.
off, soap, Gojo, like nothing, right? And eating Kentucky Fried Chicken, the shit just dissolved off his hands,
Oh
and he
my
was
God.
like, never eating Kentucky Fried Chicken again after that.
That's ridiculous. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, it's
Um,
gross for sure.
yeah. So
Um,
he's the one thing I love is he hit, like we talked about this. He hit the ground running.
oh
He
yeah,
hit the
hundred
ground running
percent.
with
He's running.
everything,
It's a
and he continued.
business. It's a business. He's
He hit the ground. The funny thing, in my opinion, which I saw, which I thought was hilarious, after the ball, he's signing executive orders. He's taking answers. He's taking questions from reporters while he's signing executive orders. He
yeah.
goes to the ball. He goes to another event. He's giving a press conference. He gave a press conference before the press secretary gave a conference and talked about things.
Not surprised. Did you see?
The dude
Yeah, he's. Did you see the White House's Spanish website is down,
down, yeah, he took it
and
down.
it just says go home.
Yeah, he took it down. It was hilarious. I thought that was
Well, how much
comical as
money are we
well.
spending on a translated version of the White House's website, right? I mean, somebody's maintaining it, and
Mm.
why? Like, that's what It's like, look, I appreciate all the cultures from other countries and all those things, but like, if you're in America, like, learn English. Like, end of story.
Yeah,
Right?
so you want to hear the funny thing though? Is the United States doesn't actually have an official language.
Yeah, but we know what it is. We speak English. Everybody speaks English.
Yeah, but there is no official language in the United States.
Yeah,
So,
whatever.
look, the one that I don't like, and this is because I've been saying how I like certain things. The one I do not like is he signed an executive order to keep TikTok alive for I think it was like 75 more
Yeah,
days.
I saw
I
that
am
one.
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that because we all know you ran on a platform and you said, China, they own this. We can't do this. It's harmful for our kids. There's been multiple studies that talk about that. There's multiple people that, like medical studies that talk about how TikTok has influenced the behavior of younger kids because that's predominantly younger kids that use that social media
Oh
app.
yeah, it's all Gen Z.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of that because I'm like, it is a Chinese entity. It has ownership with the CCP. Why are we keeping it open? It shouldn't be open.
You
And
see
I
the
and
thing about people buying phones for like ridiculous amounts of money that have TikTok installed because you can't actually download it right now.
really,
Yeah, you can't download TikTok on your phone right now. But if you have
how
it
mu-
on your phone, you can use it.
see that goes to our generation. They're like, I don't care if a Chinese company owns it, the government owns it. I still want it. I want to know
Yeah,
what
so
dance to do today.
people are
Whoosh,
putting
whoosh,
phones that
whoosh.
have TikTok installed
Hmm.
online, and people are paying like 10 grand for a phone that has TikTok installed.
Yeah, I just created. Hold on my phone. I have TikTok. I'm gonna go on eBay or something and
Well,
and
you have a shitty phone from 1975. You need to get rid of that
hey,
thing
it's
anyways.
1990. I think it was like 2006. This phone
Whatever. You're such a penny
got it.
pitcher. You're such a
I'd
penny
rather
pincher.
buy stocks than get new phones. Okay. Um, so let's go through a couple other these. He turned around. He is attempting to reverse Biden's ban on offshore drilling for 625 million acres of federal waters. He turned around and he declared a national emergency, a first in U.S. history, which can unlock new powers to suspend certain environmental rules or expedite permitting of certain mining projects. That's important because we're right now we need certain resources.
Well, I mean, they should turn the Keystone pipeline back on for sure. I mean,
Absolutely.
the whole gas price thing started when Biden canceled the Keystone pipeline project, and that was the beginning of the gas price increase because of that lack of potential resource.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to point out, Jeff, you are 100% correct. I believe that's what's going to be declassified. Redact, 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 redact. January 4th of 1951. Oh, nope, we're going to redact that too. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Mike's just reading off the chat. Thanks, Jeff,
Yeah,
for
that
for
was a comment by
participating.
Jeff participating. But yeah, I think he's hit the ground running. Now, some of these executive orders I highly doubt are going to be constitutional. I don't think it's happened. So, first one is birthright citizenship. What his argument is
Hmm.
if you're an illegal immigrant here and your
You
kid is
give
born
birth.
here,
Yeah.
you give birth
And
in the United States, they automatically have citizenship. I'm 50-50 on that personally. I think, I can understand if you're born here, you should have citizenship. I see that argument. At the same time, I've been very privy to a lot of people that come here with fake, identification. They do it intentionally so that their kids just have citizenship, and they try to use their kids' citizenship as a way of them getting
as a
their
way to stay.
citizenship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm 50-50 on that. But however, birthright citizenship, it's being thrown in the context of illegal immigrants. The problem is it's not just illegal immigrants. It's people. It's U.S. citizens here now today. So
Right.
there's going to be a constitutional argument there. I don't think he's going to win that constitutional argument. There's been a lot of judges that have already kind of talked about it a little bit, or ex-judges that have talked about the constitutional nature of his executive order. There will be a battle on it with the Supreme Court that we have in place now. You never know how that's going to happen. They might say and overturn birthright citizenship. You don't know.
Right.
But the the best was he officially designated that there's only two sexes, male and female. He took off of federal forms if you can, put in an elder or X, so it's only male or female.
Right.
There's
Makes sense.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a ton. He revoked security clearances for 51 signers of a letter suggesting that the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop could be Russian disinformation. That's one that I think he should expand. Actually, I think the access of ex intelligence officers to, the ability to be around the defense contract and governmental contract and military contracts, to be around the government, having access to certain files. I think it's a problem. Once you're done with the government, once you decide to go into private practice, once you decide to go into the private industry and you start working for a military contractor, I think you should only have access to the contracts that you're working on. I don't think you should have the ability to have unfettered access to everything.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's a problem. I think that's a problem. So I agree with that. I think he should expand it a little bit more. And if those individuals want access to clearance documents, there should be a process where they explain the reason why they want
Right.
it. You just
Well,
don't
need
get
to need to know is already a thing, but I
exactly.
guess yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm really curious to see what happens with Doge. I'm wondering how long it's going to take before they roll out their, supposedly the transparency thing where they start telling us what they're doing and how they're doing it. Um, Curious to
they're
see.
going to hit
That's
an issue.
to me that's the most fascinating piece of this whole thing is what that's going to look like, how much power they're going to have.
Right now, they're going to go through a legal battle because the governmental efficiency agency, even though he signed an executive order, has not been appointed or approved by any parts of the Senate and Congress.
Right. Yeah. I
So,
still got to
so
go through that.
they're going to have an issue. The second thing I'd like to bring up on that, it also supposedly Vivek is get kicked out.
Vivek, really?
Yeah, Vivek. I always mess up his name. He's supposedly, they were saying that when he made the comment about you know United States workers are like lazy and they're not good workers, it really turned
Hmm.
off a lot of people that were working with him in that group, and they don't want him around anymore based on that because it was like a kind of talking down about American workers.
Right.
And
Yeah. I
so
mean, it makes
there's
sense. Yeah. It's kind
yeah,
of
so it like kind of rubbed shoulders. It rubbed the wrong shoulders.
all right. We're let's switch it up a little bit.
Okay, what would you like to switch it up to?
Let's let's go to this whole leadership topic.
Sure.
So I was thinking about this while I was bedridden, and it started off when I was thinking about how there's a better way to sort of incentivize or engage your team, and typically if you ask somebody directly to do something, like instead of I see this all the time, like you have a meeting, you're like, hey, I need this thing done, and you don't actually like tell an individual to do it, then nothing will happen, right? Nobody's gonna just proactively work on something that just you need, right? Um, and I find that most people, if they respect leadership, if you tell them, "Hey, man, like I really need this done, and I know that you're someone who can get it done for me. Let me know what resources you need, et cetera, et cetera." Most people will do it. Now, the problem with that is that if you keep asking those people to do it and you don't ever like reward them somehow, then eventually they're gonna stop coming through for you. Eventually they're gonna quit it, right? So one thing that you should do when you become find yourself in a leadership role, position, management, whatever you want to call it, is figure out what levers you have to pull to reward your employees. So, do you have a budget for like gift cards or you know parties or donuts or whatever it is, right? Um, can you give people days off without too much approval? Like, is that something that you're capable of doing? Can you like actually give people half days or full, like legit, not just like, hey, just workbook something else and like come, don't come in, like legitimately give people days off. Find out what those kind of levers that you have the ability to do, and then you reward people for the extra work that you assign them, right? Assign them work, and then when they get it done, hey man, thanks for doing that. Take tomorrow off or whatever it is, right? Um, that will endear people, and it will make them do. People will want you to ask them to do something. People will want, because like, oh man, I know I'm going to get hooked up. I know I'm not just going to get shafted again like everybody else. That just I get more added to my workload, and then that's just, hey, suck it up, man. You're going to get a bonus. You're going to get a raise at the end of the year, right? I was actually there's a book called 1,001 Ways to Reward Your Employees. I think something like that. And there's a really fascinating story, and I believe it was IBM. Don't quote me on the company, but basically, like the director of engineering or something, software engineering at IBM, they had this problem, and this guy was working on it, and he came through and solved the problem like way ahead of schedule. Nobody was expecting it to get done. He stayed, he spent some weekends and stayed late and got this thing knocked out, and everybody's kind of like a little taken aback. Oh man, I wasn't expecting that to be done. And so the story goes that he wanted to, reward him, but he didn't have anything, and so he took a banana out of his lunchbox and like gave him a banana, like, hey man, that's, I want to reward you, right? Well, so then that became like sort of like this myth, and they ended up creating an award called the Golden Banana Award at IBM for a little while. And so like anytime somebody would do something above and beyond, they created this like golden banana trophy that they were like passing around the office. Yeah, I thought it was like crazy, right? But they got buy-in from the team, and everybody thought it was a super cool idea. So yeah, I mean, do something like that. Create your own award. I don't know. Golden banana nowadays might be a little, send the wrong message, but
Well, there's it's so using that example though, it's they use it in sports as well. So like Miami has
golden
the
banana.
turnover. No, no, no. They use the same logic. So Miami has like the turnover chain where it's a big U
Oh
chain.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen
Like
that. Yeah.
yeah, so it's not just in the workplace though, and it's small things like at my where I work. If you win a trial, you win something, they give you the Lady Liberty. They give you a statue. It's good to have a reward. I always look at it this way when it comes to working, and when you have people underneath you or people above you. There's always a reward for if you're doing your job right. Chris made a comment. It could be monetary. It could be personal pride. Could be becoming the best that you can become, and then getting an opportunity to go somewhere else, or somebody wanting to promote you into a different area. It's all different. I think though that reward systems are important in just in general when you're working as a boss. And I also want to start on the Almost Patriots podcast that anytime Ricardo is present during a episode, I will be giving him Mike's jug. It's a one whole gallon of American water. Um, but Ricardo's not here now, so I
So
can't start
no,
the tradition. I can't
no
start the
jug,
tradition.
no
No
jug for
jug. I'm gonna
Ricardo.
give him awards though. I'll give him awards. He rewards me by good conversations by putting me in timeout. I'll give him
Hmm.
actual rewards.
Oh, that's a reward, isn't that like teaching through negative reinforcement? I don't know if it works very well.
No, it's a reward because then I don't have to listen to him. I can speak to him for a short period. He
Oh,
thinks
so
he's hurting me.
so
He's
I get
punishing
stuck
me.
with it. You punishing
Yeah,
me. I get stuck with it. Yeah, that's kind of fucked
yeah,
up. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
how I feel
You're
about
getting
that.
punished. I'm getting rewarded. He's
Oh,
taking me
wow.
out. Yeah, but yeah, rewards are very important just in general. Like I feel like with everybody that works under me, at the end of the year, I'll give you a perfect example. At the end of the year, what I try to do is I have a couple of legal assistants, secretaries, and paralegals that work under me. I make sure not to just give them like a monetary bonus, but I always try to do something a little bit different. So if I know that they have kids, I'll get them like a little toy. I know if like they have a daughter or somebody's going through something, like I'll get them something small because it shows that I'm listening to you, and it shows that I appreciate everything, and I'm kind of I'm not putting you to the side, and I'm not appreciative of everything that you're doing. So it's something that works for me. Chris, I know you probably do things at your company for employees that work under you, but rewards are important just in general.
I actually don't have anybody under me currently. I'm an individual contributor, so I just
Okay, so going
smile.
back to me, I'll talk about my rewards that I give
No,
you.
but when I worked overseas, I was always trying to get people days off. Like I had that power, and then we had a $2,000 budget. So, like, hey man, go buy, go whatever, go buy some donuts or something.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the one thing that we always struggle with for on the FSR world is because we're all remote, so we're all
Hmm.
like over all over the world, and so, you know, some of these bigger programs, they'll have these like parties at the office, and they'll get them catered. They'll get like pizza and drinks or whatever, and then we're just like out in Saudi Arabia or wherever the fuck we are, like not reaping any of those benefits, right? And so
Hmm.
we're like, hey, go buy yourself a pizza on the company, right? So like $10 here, $10 there, whatever.
Cheap.
Yeah, yeah. And then there was one where they were like trying to do this spring cleaning program where they're
Hmm.
like, hey, we're all going to go to the park, and kind of like get together and then half the day and then kind of go home and do whatever you got to do. And I was like, well, what about everybody in the field? Like, and so then we got the director of the program to come out and say, hey, if you're in the field, then charge 4 hours to this charge code, and do whatever, go wherever you are, go outside and go do this thing.
So basically, you just told me that your company fraudulently charged its clients.
No, it's an internal code. It's a workbooking code. No, not charging like the government. Fuck you.
No, in all honesty, like I personally always like as an employee, and I had bosses. Rewards for me were always big. I felt like it was kind of a measure of my performance, and it could have been something small in the office. It could have been a lunch. It could have been a promotion. It could have been money. But I always thought like working hard and working towards something and getting rewarded in general was important for my confidence at my job, because one thing about working all the time is you never know sometimes if you're doing a good job or you're doing a bad
Right.
job. So that reward gives you that confidence, like, oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm performing. And people are noticing. So that's always good. But yeah,
Donuts
there's
is an
one.
easy one. Donuts is an
Yeah,
easy one.
your company is cheap as hell.
Well, not in the Marine Corps, I did it all the time. I just bring in, I like Krispy Kreme. So in San Diego, I always go get
Oh,
Krispy
Krispy
Kreme in
Kremes
the
are so
morning.
good.
Yeah, I'd get
I
like
miss
four.
Krispy
I'd get
Kremes.
like 4 dozen Krispy Kreme, bring them into the shop for guys.
Mhm.
Another one I used to do, like if it was Friday and there was going to be like kind of a stay crew, we call it day crew, stay crew, where there's no night crew coming in, and so we have to get a bunch of stuff done, and whenever we finish it is when we go home. So it could be 6 o'clock on Friday or 7 o'clock on Friday. And so what I would do is I would buy lunch. So I would go order like 20 pizzas or something and like some soda or whatever, and then I would physically take it out to the aircraft
Mhm.
and be like, "Hey guys, got you some pizza, got you some soda, like eat up,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
whatever." That way they wouldn't come in because like when you come inside and you send them to chow, like that's it takes them 15 minutes to like take a crap and wash their hands, and then
Mhm.
30, 40 minutes to go out and find food and then come back, and then it takes another 15, 20 minutes just to kind of like get back in the groove, and so you waste hour and a half. And it, when we're gonna leave at 7 or 6 or 5, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, hey man, just like stay out here, keep working, like, and it'll pay us back when we actually go home at 4 o'clock instead
Yeah.
of 7, because you guys were ticking around. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you a friendship reward, right? So back in the day when
Oh,
back in the day when I lived in San Diego with Ricardo, um,
you guys live
I
together? How's that?
no, no, no. He lived up the street from me. He lived up the street from me. Shout out to Little Italy and Scorpion drum set.
Scorpion
Shout out.
percussion.
Yeah,
Shout out to another
shout out.
man's
Uh,
wood.
yeah. But no. So when Ricardo would go to the gym on that day, because we'd always text me like, "Hey, I'm
Wait,
at
you
the
went to the
gym.
gym?
Can I finish the fucking story?" So when he would go to the gym, he'd text me, "I'm getting done with the fit like in the area," and I would be like, "All right, you want to go out for a drink tonight?" He said, "Absolutely." Every time he'd go gym, I would reward him by allowing him to talk to the hot girl at the bar. I would take a set back. I'd take the friend that wasn't as cute. He doesn't know
Oh,
that. That was my reward for him. Okay.
jumping on the hand grenade. Getting
Yeah, I
that
always did it. And
getting that
and
purple
I
heart.
always told him. I was like, dude, you got this. We're going to the gym today. I'm not gonna talk to her, even though she's looking at me. I'm gonna let you talk to her. All right. I'll take her
Wow.
friend.
Just dripping with magnanimity. Congratulations.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to talk with you about because Ricardo's not here is football. Have you watched any football lately?
Oh, fuck no. Fuck Ohio State. I hope they die.
dude, like I watched the championship game, and
How was it?
it was, it wasn't really a game. It
Of
wasn't
course
really a
not.
game.
Of course not. They didn't deserve to be there.
Yeah, Ohio State. Ohio State was clearly more talented. They have a $20 million roster. They literally had speed. They had athleticism. They had strength. Notre Dame put up a good fight, but it was a blowout at the beginning,
Yeah, it
and
was
you
like
could
21
see. Oh,
nothing at halftime or whatever, right?
yeah, no, it was 28-7, and then
Yeah.
what ended up happening was Ohio State changed its game plan because they were up so big that it was like, all right, let's slow the clock down. And when that happens, your whole game plan changes. It's bound that the other team is going to make a
Well,
little bit of run.
they struggle running the football, and so they're a passing team. But when you pass, you don't run the clock out.
Yeah,
So like that's just, I mean, that's the whole reason why they lost to Michigan is because they tried to fucking run the football. It's like, dude, you guys suck at running the football. Just throw the ball. You have the two best
Yeah.
receivers, the best wide receiver tandem in college football. Just throw the ball.
yeah, yeah. So I wanted to talk about that. It was. I'm happy for Notre Dame to get there. I didn't peg them for getting that far at all.
Well,
I
Penn
give them
State
credit.
choked. Penn State
Yeah.
fucking choked again.
Oh, they choked while I'm wearing my Penn State Nitty Lion
State
sweater
choked
for
again.
my seventh episode.
Penn State
that
should have beat
wearing
Ohio
this
State in the
sweater.
regular season. They should have beat
Yeah.
Notre Dame, and Oregon should not have been on that side of the bracket. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't
It was
know.
such. And the final. Did you see the final AP rankings?
Yeah.
Oregon's number 3. You
Don't
know
go
you
sorry.
fucked up. You fucked
Yeah.
up.
Well, the better one is, did you see the Commanders? I know Ricky Rose is so happy about it.
Dude,
The Commanders
Jaden
winning.
Daniels, man, I like that kid. He looks good. He's fun to watch.
I would have never expected him to be so successful in the NFL. I give him kudos. I give the Commanders kudos, which I hate that name, the Commanders, because I grew up on the
Isn't
Redskins.
it changing? I think it's changing.
It's changing. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going back. I saw that game. I thought it was great. Once again, Kansas City Chiefs get bailed out by the
Oh my
refs.
God.
It's this has got to stop. It's getting
That's
out of control.
all anybody's talking about on the internet right now is how the fucking Kansas City fucktards keep getting the refs.
Twofold. One, I want to see Kansas City lose. I'm a huge, by the
Oh
way,
my
Mahomes
God.
fan. I like Mahomes. I
I've
like
been
Mahomes.
rooting for the Bills. I mean, Josh Allen. I mean, I really hope he wins one
Without a doubt.
eventually.
I like Josh
Yeah.
Allen a lot. I'm a big fan of Mahomes. I think he's a great player. But the refs are giving him every call, every benefit. And it's like when you're such a good player and you get all of those extra benefits, like you're not going to lose. The second thing, though, also is I want them to lose because if they continue to show the camera on Taylor Swift at every
Oh
game,
my God, I know.
okay, it's like I'm getting to a point where I'm like I'm thinking about canceling my membership to all these streaming services, not watching any more games because it's gotten to the point where it's so ridiculous. Anytime Travis Kelce catches a pass, it's like, whoof, the camera switches to Taylor Swift. And,
Taylor Swift,
you know,
I know.
and she's like
And then
sitting there like,
Caitlin Clark was there too. So that's, I mean, I hate it. I mean, I've been saying once Taylor Swift and Kelsey break up, then the Chiefs will stop winning.
I still to this day find it so funny that Travis Kelce dated all black women with very curvy bodies, and then he starts dating Taylor Swift that has no curve on any part of her body.
Then he has a Pfizer commercial.
Wait. The best part is he dressed so like modern, hip, and now he's dressed like a little bit more on the preppy side, and it's
That was
like
such a
it's
douchebag.
like bro, it's like bro, like chill out. Like it's gotten to the point where like okay, we know this is arranged, we know this was set up because the NFL ratings were starting to take a little bit of a hit. We get it.
Yeah. He was
We get it.
basically a honorable member of Jersey Shore before
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. I mean, the guy was total douchebag.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, dude, just stop. Like, and I'm waiting for them to lose because I just can't watch any more of the games. I like Patrick Mahomes a lot, and I like Andy Reid, and I always enjoyed watching those games. But the amount of coverage that she gets in one of those suites booths,
Oh yeah, it's
like,
ridiculous. It's all you watch.
before the game started, okay, the other day, They had a video of her walking through the players' tunnel into the stadium like she was a player. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I
I was
know.
like, what are we doing? This is like ridiculous.
It's out
Oh
of
man.
control.
It's out of control. It's out of control. I can't take it anymore. But yeah, so who do you think's going to win it all?
That's tough. I mean, I feel like Philadelphia should beat the Commanders. Should. Um,
Yeah.
I
They
think
have
they're
a
a better
different team
football.
this
They're a
year.
better football team. They're stacked.
Hmm.
Um, I honestly think that the best football game, the best Super Bowl, would be Eagles Bills. That would be the
Yeah.
most fun Super Bowl game to watch because we wouldn't have to worry about the refs. We'd have, two really good running football teams, and it'd be fun to watch. I think Commanders Bills would also be really fun to watch too.
Hmm.
I think if the Commanders played the Bills, they'd put up 40 points.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
good point.
I mean, I haven't watched the Super Bowl. I watched the Super Bowl last year because I had nothing else to do, and it sucked. And if the Chiefs are in it again, it's going to be the same. I'm not going to watch it. It's going
I
to be
won't.
dumb.
I won't. I won't watch it if the Chiefs are in it. Like
Yeah.
I can't watch another one. I can't watch it because I watched a lot of the Chiefs games this year's, and it's one of those things where the refs are the
It's
refs
been all
are
year.
clearly favoring them,
And
and
then
it's
there's
like a
just
couple.
stupid shit like the blocked field goal that was just stupid. I mean, they're just the way that they're winning. It's just, it just makes me want to punch babies.
Yeah. Okay. What's your name, Ricardo? He was the one that started that. Yeah. I think that's going to be an interesting one. I also think there's a huge problem in sports in
Jeff
professional
Corrigan
sports.
said this is the best show ever. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Hold on, Jeff. I got something for you.
Are we taking a water break?
I'm taking a water break from my almost Patriots a jug. We're going to be putting that in the store, selling it for $5. Jeff gave me the.
This is my buddy's mortgage company, Maddox.
Oh, it's a. I couldn't tell that for a second. Yeah, I see it now. Why don't you turn it the right way? It's upside down. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Enough. Yeah. So I was gonna say though is so the NBA has a huge problem right now, a massive problem. Their ratings are basically tanking.
LeBron has to retire. Just retire, dude.
Well, the ratings are tanking, and they're trying to do all these things to incorporate fans into it by doing the mid-year season or the mid-year tournament, and they're trying all of this stuff, and it's not working. And the problem is the ticket sales are down. They're still going off their TV contracts, which are technically now the streaming service contracts, but they're having massive problems with attendance. And if you listen to Charles Barkley, listen to Shaquille O'Neal, listen to Kenny Smith, they all talk about the problem. The quality of the game is horrific because what ends up happening is if you watch any of these games, they throw up like 100 threes a game.
Oh
There
yeah,
is
that's
little. It's not fun anymore. Like it was fun and exciting at first when you had Steph Curry throwing up threes and he was like hitting them, but now it's like everybody throws it up. Nobody plays defense, and the game shouldn't be this way. You have more athletic, you have more talented, you have overall more all around players. It should be a better game, but right now it's not. And also another thing, they're soft as hell. The NBA has made it that the game became soft, and it's a problem. And I this is the first year I have not gone to a basketball game, let alone watch an NBA game on TV. That's how bad it is. And I'm a huge basketball fan. I'm a huge sports fan, but I'm a huge basketball fan. Like I love my Knicks, but this year it's just atrocious. It's literally atrocious.
yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm much more interested in hockey this year than basketball for sure. Um,
Yeah, I know. You
Definitely
like
rooting for
long.
Ovechkin. Let's go,
Oh
baby. Let's
yeah,
go Capitals. Let's go Caps.
absolutely. Yeah, that's
Um,
gonna be good. That's gonna be a
Ovechkin
good
scored
one.
another goal, so he's 19 away from Gretzky's record.
Gretzky record. Yeah.
See,
Is it 19 away from tying it or 19 away from beating it?
tying. Yeah,
Tying it.
tying.
That's what I thought it
Yeah,
was. Okay.
so he's got 21 goals this year so far. So,
He's old too.
dude, I know. They
Like
make me feel old.
I'm making you feel old.
Oh, like those guys. So like LeBron is a year younger than me, and Ovechkin's like the same. I think he's born in 84 or 85. They're like right around. And so like they've been around a long time.
Oh yeah. Well, you could tell LeBron's getting older because his hair toupee keeps falling off during games,
Well,
and
because his
there's
kid's
been
in the NBA. That's how you tell. His fucking kid's
no
playing.
there's been a couple of videos of him like where like the back of his head, like his bald spot has shown, like his hair piece has fallen off, and like in the middle of the game, he like puts his hand on the back of his head and he like walks over to the bench and he's trying to like pretend like it's his waves, and it's like no, bro, like we all saw it. We know you're losing your hair. Like let it go, okay? I'm getting a bald spot back here too, okay? Like it's gonna happen to most of us.
It is. I told you I went and got glasses for the first time. I had to get reading glasses. So
And you're flying helicopters?
I don't fly. I haven't. I'm not a pilot. No, I don't. I haven't done that shit in years, man. No, I have great distance vision. The doctor was like, "Dude, your distance vision is perfect." But he was like, "Hey, can you read this?" And I'm like, like
Get
"No,
it
I
out of my
can't. I
face.
can't
Get it out of my
fucking
face.
read that, dude."
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
because you can't read, or is it because it was just too close to your face?
Yeah, that too. I'm a Marine, so I eat crayons. So yeah, I can't read. So
That's
no,
all
I've just
right.
been. I don't know. I noticed a little while ago when I was in San Diego at Cowboy Star with the boys, and like I couldn't fucking read the receipt. I'm like turning the lights on my phone, and like still
Hmm.
can't figure out what the numbers are. I'm like, oh my god, I think I'm getting old.
Welcome to the club. I take these glasses off. I can't even see the computer in front of my face.
Well, I don't know. I have great vision, but my reading has just gone to shit. It sucks. So I actually tried to read a book in bed a couple nights ago, and I couldn't do it. So I'm like,
You
I
sure
just
it's not
fucking
ADD?
no, I couldn't read the words. Like they're
Oh,
blurry.
okay.
Like I
It's the
can't
vision.
like yeah. So yeah, I also have ADD. That's true too. But so I
Hmm.
get my new prescription glasses on like the second I think of February.
Okay. That's not that bad.
Thank God for vision, man. It was like $800 for the
Oh,
appointment,
oh, you're
and
talking about your insurance?
yeah, I think the insurance paid for most of it, and then I used my HSA for like the $240 or whatever out of
Mm.
pocket. But it's like fuck,
I,
man, $800
I've,
for an eye appointment and glasses.
yeah, I think back in the day, if I remember correctly, the frames are made by like only two or three companies. So any of the frames you see are made by only two or three
Oh,
different
they just have the
companies.
different label, something different brand.
So when you go to Gucci
Mm.
or you go to like some of those companies and they're like, all right, we want to charge you $1,000, you're paying basically $1,000 just for the name on the frame.
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous. Like
Not
I was
surprised.
in, yeah, I go to Costco and get my glasses. I go to
Well,
Costco.
I
I
don't
don't.
have a prescription, so I don't know what I didn't want to just buy random reading glasses and fuck up my vision even more.
Mhm.
So, and then I have vision. I have healthcare, so I figured I don't
You have
take my care of
healthcare?
myself. I don't take care of myself. I actually have two. I have free healthcare with the VA because of my disabilities. So I just
Gotcha.
don't use it because the VA is a little bit of pain in the ass. I used to use it when I
Hmm.
lived in San Diego, but
What's
um,
the issue with the VA?
just everything's slow, man. I tried to get an appointment to do a, a test for allergies,
Okay.
and it took me 2 months to get an appointment just for the
Oh, that.
just to see the allergy the guy, and yeah, it told me I have some sensitive skin, so I take Claritin.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds
great.
about right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, for me, the healthcare system needs a little bit tweaking. Um,
a little. Holy fuck, a lot. Obamacare
okay.
didn't work though. The $500 million website that didn't work that crashed.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
better
god.
than the what 18 billion for all the other things. Did you see Trump's executive order to stop the EV programs and the mandates by 2030? I think it was 2035. Everything had to be electric vehicles or something like that.
Oh, the ones that Biden and California are working on. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna stop that. I don't ever understand how they think that was ever going to be in place. Like, there's no way to get that done in such a short period of time.
Well, I mean, I understand, riding the wave And the funny thing is that Bush's administration is the one that actually brought in the ability to do Tesla. The Prius is essentially a byproduct of the Bush administration. They're the ones that said that the car companies had to spend a certain percentage of their revenue on alternative power sources outside
Hmm.
of fossil fuels. And so the Prius is came from that whole thing, right? But this whole EV thing is just they're riding the wave, and we don't have. First of all, the power grid can't support it.
Can't
So
control it. Yeah.
if everybody had an EV car, then the lights wouldn't work in your house. And then second of all, the raw materials for these batteries we don't have. I mean,
Lithium.
we have to get them from other countries, and we're competing with several other countries, and it's expensive as shit. And
Hmm.
I mean, I understand that we're trying to get in bed with Guatemala because they have a bunch of natural resources. I know Venezuela is now in bed with Chinese, so they're out. Even they're high in a lot of those
That's why
minerals.
we're taking over Greenland.
Greenland, Canada. I mean, I know it sucks. Some of those really beautiful places, nobody wants to see a giant hole in the ground. But I mean, it's
It's the way of life.
just that's how it is, man. It is what it is.
Did
Start
you?
going and visiting all these beautiful places now while you can.
Yeah. Did you see Trump's executive order for 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and
Oh
10%
yeah.
tariffs on China? Canada right now is like, uh-oh.
Well, I mean, all you have to do to offset the tariff is just bring manufacturing inside the U.S. So like that's how companies like Toyota get away with it is that they make their cars here. So
Hmm.
all they have to do is just, hey, we're selling a bunch of fucking buildings from the federal government. Buy up some buildings, bring in some manufacturing capabilities for whatever product that you want to sell into the U.S. Boom, there goes away your 25% tariff,
Yeah.
and then you bring in fucking jobs. It's
Hmm.
pretty easy math for me,
Well,
but
we're gonna have a AI. We're gonna have an AI super company with Oracle, SoftBank, and OpenAI. The $500 billion investment in AI infrastructure. Did you see that?
yeah, I'm curious to see what the power situation is going to look like once Trump kind of puts that plan in place because all of these AI, supercomputer, quantum computing stuff for it's a huge draw on the grid, and
Yeah, on the energy. Yeah.
we cannot keep up with it. I mean, currently the states like California have real issues. I mean, they're not the only one, and electricity prices are only going up. And with this, if you whatever you global warming, whatever you call it, I mean, that means it's colder in the winter and warmer in the summer. It costs more money. Um, Got to find
Yeah, but
alternative power sources to lower costs.
yeah, but we don't contribute to global warming like other
Well,
countries. Like,
technically, we are not the problem. I mean, China is dumping so
and
much waste into the
yeah,
ocean. The funny thing is, a lot of that waste they're buying from us. Like we're selling them waste
our
for them to
trash. Yeah,
dump.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm always
So
wondering why you don't just launch it into the sun.
launch it into the sun.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I
So
always
it gets
when I was a
hotter here. Yeah.
when I was a kid, I always yeah, but no, but the sun is so big. Like I mean, like what is it? 3 million Earths will fit inside the sun or something ridiculous, right? So it takes a
I think
hundred
there's a
thousand years. It takes 100,000 years for an electron to leave the nucleus of the sun and exit the sun's surface. That doesn't include the distance from the sun's surface to Earth. It takes a hundred
so,
thousand years.
so what do you want us to just start throwing our trash into space and see
Look,
where it
man, it was
lands?
just something an idea I had when I was like 10. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, why wouldn't you just launch all this shit? I mean, it's a fucking gigantic fusion engine. Just
I
burn it all up, man. I
I
mean,
think you're right. I think what we should do is we should start having the SpaceX rockets take all of our trash and
yeah,
just start launching it
just
into
hurtle it in the
space.
sun.
Yeah, just hurtle it into space, see what it hits. If it, I don't think it's gonna bother us because there's this atmosphere. It's way out there. It's way out there. We don't have to worry about it. It will go into a black hole. We'll be perfectly fine. You know.
Look, it'll take 100 years for it to reach the sun. So,
Yeah,
you
by
know,
that time
whatever.
we'll be dead. By that
Yeah,
time we'll be
exactly.
dead.
You know,
We'll, in
not
a
a
hundred
problem.
years we'll figure. In 100 years we'll have figured out how to get to Mars.
Hopefully, we have figured out a lot in the next 100 years, but we'll see.
Well, we'll probably figure it out within the next five. Well, I say about 4 years. We got Elon, who's doing a hell of a job over there.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I don't really know what the benefit, I guess, from going to Mars, other than just, in the event of catastrophic asteroid, we have
Um,
people not on the planet. You
Resources
know.
could be resources. We could be dwindling on things.
I mean, but
Uh,
I haven't really seen
Overpopulation,
anything saying that Mars has some natural resources that we don't have here, but
wildfires. Mars doesn't have wildfires. Could
mm,
be that.
yes, yeah.
Um, they could separate politics. Republicans could be here, Democrats be there, or Democrats could be here, Republicans be. You never know. It
Um,
could be good things out of it.
there's a really good book called The Expanse. They turned it into a TV show, and
I've
that's
watched it. It's on
the
Amazon.
book. The books are really good. Yeah, Mars was colonized like, so long ago that now there's like this beef between the Earth and
Yeah,
Mars. It's so
yeah.
cool.
It's like the colony and the Federation. I can't remember the names in it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
it's a good.
they're really good books. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're really good. But I want to go back to the reward system. You said something very important, and it got me
Uh-oh.
thinking. It got me thinking about something. Like when I lived in San Diego. Okay, I'm just messing around. I'm not gonna say anything about the rewards. I was gonna make a joke about Ricardo, um, but because he said no bullshit never happened. It did happen. It happened on several occasions. Like there was a great. So Little Italy, if anybody's been there, has some great restaurants. I'm a little biased, being Italian from New York, so I think Italian food in New York has a little bit of a different flavor, and it's better than everywhere. San Diego has good Italian food. I wouldn't say it's horrible. I have gone to some restaurants in San Diego where they have said, "Oh, this is authentic, best Italian," and
Oh,
I wanted to spit it out. Like they've overdone like that Italy feeling where they have everything painted on the walls like you're in like Rome or Venice or something. But anyway, there was a place in Little Italy that we used to go. I wanted to give it a shout out, Barbusa. PJ, phenomenal place, good time. That's where most of the time I rewarded Ricardo with allowing him
rewarded
to talk,
Ricardo.
allowing him to talk to the hot girl while I sat on the side. We did that there. That was a great spot. And then there was Kettner Exchange as well. Oh, Kettner Exchange was great. I think he didn't he DJ not too long ago there.
Yeah, yeah, he spins there every once in a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm curious to know if they're still asking about me there. Like when I
Probably
because
not. No.
because I always used to pick up so many
Oh,
girls.
yeah.
Like they were all talking to me, and I left such a mark, and I just had to keep
Hmm.
pushing them off of me to Ricardo as a reward.
Wow. Toot your own horn, huh?
Well, I
On that
gave
note,
that's
with
the way
Italian
I
food, sorry, what?
that's how I gave Ricardo the rewards.
Um, we were talking about where you want to go. I don't know. I would go back to London in a heartbeat. I was thinking
Hmm.
about this the other day. I feel like it'd be cool to go back, spend a day or two in London, and then jump on the train, like go up to Edinburgh Castle or something in
Okay.
Scotland. Um, dude, I love London. I've been
Never
there.
been. I can't tell you.
Oh man, every time Ricardo and I went, I've gone there a couple times now, and every time I go, I have a great time. I walk a
Now,
lot, eat a lot of
what makes
food.
it so great? Yeah, but what makes it so great?
Um, well, I mean, I feel like it's several different cities. I mean, New York City's not too dissimilar, where there's just several different cities inside of the same city. The difference being obviously that you know, London's been around for a lot longer than New York City has. So,
Hmm. The
um,
historical nature.
I always love that sort of like juxtaposition between. I remember there was like this beautiful sort of Victorian type building with gables and the whole like gargoyles and everything, but then underneath it was like a Burger King, and like I don't know what it is about that sort
Are
of
you giving your
juxtaposition.
Are you giving yourself a thumbs up?
I don't know what it is about that juxtaposition between like the new and old, sort of thing. I always really liked that sort of contrast.
Hmm.
My favorite restaurant now, Decimo. Fucking love that place.
What
And
type of
then
food?
just it's fuck everything, dude. I mean, they have, I think it's Asian fusion or not Mexican
Okay,
fusion. Um,
gotcha.
but they have like a tableside guac that would knock your socks off. Their fucking scallops are amazing. Um, but yeah, I mean, like Covenant Gardens and obviously the tower and the bridge and like
Hmm.
Ricardo and I would, go down to the tower, get on the ferry all the way down to Big Ben, have some tea on the ferry, and then just walk through Trafalgar Square, Government Gardens.
Sounds
Um,
like a great trip.
yeah, dude, I love that place, man. I'll go back in a heartbeat. I've been to Dubai a bunch of times too, so either way, we could figure it out.
Yeah,
I think like
I'm down for whatever. I could definitely do whatever. I don't really. I've been wanting to go to Dubai for a while now, and quite honestly, I think it would be awesome. There's a couple of golf courses there that I would love to try to play, and enjoy the city, see kind of the elements that there. It's a more modern city. The architecture's there. You have all those great, high rises, but all like the indoor mall. They have the ski resort inside.
yeah, the Mall at Emirates has a ski resort inside. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to see it because I think that's is it a world wonder? It's not a world wonder, but they
Well,
have
the
said
tallest
that.
building in the world's there. The only six-star
Yeah,
hotel is there.
let's stay
Um,
there.
they have an underwater hotel that's there as well. Um, the
Let's
six-star
stay there.
hotel? Hell no, dude. We can't afford that shit. No
Well,
way.
I'll sell some of my stock. Is the Lion King there?
I have no idea. Definitely in London for sure. But
Yeah.
um,
But yeah, that's what I want to do. I definitely want to do Dubai. Um, it would. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, especially with somebody like yourself who's been there before, that kind of knows the spots to go to, kind of to see things, explain things, or better yet, to just kind of get a good feel of it. I want to do that, and then I want to go to also Uruguay, wherever Carter's from. He's talked about
yeah,
it
we
numerous
definitely
times.
we got to do a Uruguay trip at some point, for sure. That one's got to figure out as well.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
I'll give a call. I'll give a call to a couple of friends and see if he could hook us up.
Well, I think I think I'm ready for bed, man. I know you're sick. So
Yeah, yeah, but
speaking of being
you can
sick,
tell.
yeah. Ricardo's in sunny San Diego, so he's probably living the 65
Well,
degree
he's in
weather
Anaheim
life.
right now. He's in Anaheim
Yeah.
right now. I think that's where he said he was, and I think he might have had a green screen behind him when we were FaceTiming.
Yeah, my friend just texted me earlier and said that there's some fires in La Jolla,
Yeah.
so we'll see what San Diego's how that's going.
Well, there's another fire that just broke out in LA that's like rapidly
Yeah,
like picking up some steam. Like
I won't be back in San Diego until middle of February, so um,
I'm gonna do probably June or July. I'm gonna go out there.
okay. I mean, I'm there every month except so far there every month. February, March, April, May.
Well, you know what? We'll go fly. We'll meet up. We'll just leave like Ricardo out because if he can't come on the podcast and do with us on the Thursday, so we'll reward ourselves by going out and hanging out together and leave him on the side. We'll reward him if he shows up with our presence.
It's a direct flight for me to New York City, so I might pop over one of these weekends just to bullshit for a
Yeah,
couple
come.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, come. I would suggest come in the warmer weather. We'll
I
come up
haven't
to the
seen the
club.
9/11 memorial yet. Last time I was in New York City, last time I was in New York City, they were still cleaning up the wreckage. So,
Oh, it's
um,
been that long.
oh
It's
my
really
God,
nice. The
I haven't been
memorial.
there since '03, I think, '04. It's been a long
Hmm.
time, since I've been
Yeah,
down
the
there.
memorial is really nice. They've got a lot of
Hell,
like.
Serendipity was still there last time I was there.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. That was it was if you were here when they were cleaning up, you probably were here. No, Giuliani, Bloomberg. You might have been. Yeah, De Blasio maybe. Yeah, so we've had a couple of really bad mayors in New York that let the city go to shit. To be honest with you, it's kind of upsetting and infuriating to see what the local businesses have done.
Yeah.
People lighting them. Um, yeah, the subway system. You take your life in your own hands. Like nowadays, like if you're in Midtown, usually you never had a problem, but nowadays it's just getting worse and worse. New York used to be a beautiful city in so many ways. Also, New York was known for its mom and pop stores, like restaurants, businesses. And the thing that bothers me the most is now it's very, 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 very corporate, and it's kind of lost its soul a little bit because of that. Like Brooklyn used to be mom and pop as well, but now Brooklyn is turning into corporate. The only ones that really have stayed like mom and pop are Queens, uh, Bronx, and one other place is Staten Island. But Staten Island is like becoming Staten Island, Staten Island. I don't know. Staten Island, is
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, it's
I don't
that's
even
what it
consider
is.
it like it's a borough, but I don't even consider it New York. Anybody that lives in like New York considers Staten Island to be like Jersey, like
Hmm.
so usually it's people from Brooklyn goes to Staten Island and then they move from Staten Island to Jersey. So yeah, it's an interesting one
Yeah, we'll figure something out. But
for sure.
hi man,
All
we'll
right,
drink some orange juice, get some rest.
I got the
Thanks
whiskey out.
everybody. We hit 35,000 subscribers a couple
Thanks,
days
guys.
ago, so appreciate your support. Looks like we had 16 people watching at the peak. So thanks for listening. Feel free to hit us up in the chat, and hey, we have swag now. So if you want to get some almost Patriots memorabilia,
Did you
um,
just say fucking swag like we're in
yeah,
like
we got
two
swag,
thousands?
dude. We got swag, man.
Dude, this is why you're from Indiana, all right?
I'm not from
Swag,
Indiana. I'm from
swag. We
I'm
got
from
swag.
everywhere. I'm from the God's greatest,
Okay,
country in the
continue.
world.
Continue with your statement. Continue with the statement.
No, go on the website. It's on the backside of every reel.
Yeah.
Check out our gear. Check us out, and don't forget to tell your friends about us. Um, we're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers this year, so and then once we hit the threshold, we'll start really starting pumping out some better content for you all, and hopefully get some 1080p action. Right now, we're still in the 720p world, so
And we
um,
won't be sick half the time when we're doing the
yeah, we'll
episodes.
get the tripod back together. We'll get out of the winter and try to be healthy for y'all. So
Yeah. Well, everybody appreciate it. This is Mike from New York. Sammy Sosa once again. Respect life. And have a good one. Thanks for watching.
cheers, everybody. Thanks for showing up.